Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of destiny. The moment you take your eyes off your own lane to see what somebody else is doing, you rob yourself of the focus, the energy, huge, and the faith you need to keep pressing towards your calling. Too many of us have allowed the noise of other people's success to make us feel like failures. We scroll through social media, huge. We see their highlight reels, their achievements, their celebrations, and suddenly we forget that what we are looking at is only a fraction of their story. We don't see the nights they cried, the battles they fought or the sacrifices they made. We only see the polished picture, and in that moment, comparison begins to whisper, you're behind, you're not enough. You'll never get there. But hear me when I tell you, your journey is not meant to look like theirs. God crafted you with a unique assignment, a specific timeline, and a personal process that cannot be duplicated or rushed. When you understand that your destiny is tailored, made you stop competing with people who were never your competition. The truth is, there is enough room for all of us to win. But when you constantly measure your progress by someone else's pace, you lose the joy of celebrating your own step. You may be moving slower than you hope, but progress is still progress. Every step you take toward becoming who you are meant to be is significant, so even if it doesn't look impressive to anybody else. Growth happens in seasons, and your season is not delayed, it is divine. There are lessons God is teaching you in this stage of life that you would miss if He gave you everything right now. That's why comparing yourself to someone who's in a different chapter of their story will only distract you from what you're meant to learn in yours. Sometimes we think we are behind simply because someone else got married before us, bought a house before us, built a business before us. But you don't know what they went through to get there. You don't know the weight they carried. You don't know what sacrifices they had to make that you may not be ready for. So instead of resenting their success, learn to celebrate it while staying committed to your own process. When you clap for others without envy, you create space in your heart for God to bless you in your time. Jealousy shuts doors, gratitude opens them. The danger of comparison is that it tricks you into believing that your life is lacking, even when God has already been good to you. You have survived things that should have broken you. You have grown in ways you don't even give yourself credit for. But because you are too busy looking at somebody else's plate, you can't see that God has already set a table before you. Your focus must shift from, why don't I have what they have, to, Lord, thank you for what you've already given me, and thank you for what is on the way. Gratitude destroys comparison. It is impossible to stay bitter about someone else's blessing when you're busy thanking God for your own. There is also power in understanding that timing is everything. The fact that it hasn't happened for yet doesn't mean it won't happen. Some things take longer because they're being built to last. The same rain that grows grass quickly is not the same rain that grows oak trees. God is shaping you for something bigger, huge. So your process will require more time, more preparation, and more trust. You cannot rush what God is doing in you, and you cannot compare your oak tree process to someone else's grass growth. You must learn to put your blinders on in 2025. Just like a racehorse cannot win while looking at the horse next to it, you cannot win if your eyes are always on other people. Your energy is precious, and every ounce you waste comparing yourself is an ounce you could have used to build, to grow, to develop. Focus on being the best version of you. Focus on becoming a little better today than you were yesterday. Stop competing with people who aren't even running the same race as you. If you could see what God has ahead for you, you would stop looking to the left and right, and you would run your race with joy. The doors that are opening for you, the opportunities that are aligning for you, huge. And the blessings that are coming to you are all connected to your faithfulness in this season. Do not despise small beginnings. What feels slow now will one day make sense. Trust that every delay is a setup, every setback is a lesson, and every step forward is proof that you're still in the fight. This is the year you stop scrolling through life as a spectator and start living as a participant. This is the year you stop asking, why not me? And start declaring, huge, my time is coming. When you stop comparing yourself, you free yourself. You release yourself from unnecessary pressure. You allow yourself to grow at the pace that is right for you. And in due season, you will look back and thank God that you stayed in your lane. Huge, because what He has for you will be so perfectly designed that you wouldn't trade it for anything you thought you wanted. Growth is never accidental. It is intentional. You cannot expect a different life while repeating the same habits that have kept you stagnant. If you want 2025 to be the year where you finally rise, you must make a decision to invest in yourself, your mind, your skills, and your spirit. Far too many people are waiting for life to change without preparing for that change. They pray for opportunities but fail to develop the capacity to handle them. A blessing without preparation can become a burden, and that is why God often delays doors from opening until you are ready to walk through them. Investing in your growth starts with your mind. The thoughts you feed yourself every day shape the life you live. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, you will see the world through the lens of limitation. But if you fill your mind with knowledge, wisdom, and faith, you expand what is possible for your future. Read books that stretch your thinking. Surround yourself with conversations that challenge your perspective. Feed your mind with ideas that inspire you to dream bigger and work smarter. A renewed mind creates a renewed life. Every great transformation begins in thought before it manifests in action. But growth is not just about what you know, it is about what you can do. Huge. Skills are the bridge between vision and manifestation. You can have the biggest dreams, but without the skills to back them up, those dreams will remain fantasies. Learn something new that aligns with your goals. If you want to start a business, study entrepreneurship. If you want a better career, master the skills that make you valuable. Huge. If you want financial freedom, learn about money management and investing. Every hour you spend building your skill set is an hour invested in your future. The world rewards those who prepare, not those who merely wish. Investing in your spirit is just as important as building your mind and skills. You can be intelligent and talented, but without inner strength, you will quit when life gets tough. Life has a way of testing you when you least expect it. And if your spirit is weak, you will fold under the pressure. Build your spirit through prayer, meditation, and reflection. Spend time in gratitude, because gratitude keeps your heart soft even in hard seasons. When you make God the center of your growth, He will guide your steps and give you peace that surpasses understanding. A strong spirit is what allows you to keep moving when everything in life tries to hold you back. The danger of neglecting your growth is that you become stuck in cycles of frustration. You wonder why life isn't changing, but you keep repeating the same patterns. You can't expect a harvest from seeds you never planted. If you want more, you must become more. You must be willing to outgrow old habits, old mindsets, and old excuses. Growth requires sacrifice. It may mean cutting down on entertainment to study. It may mean waking up earlier to work on your goals. It may mean spending money on courses, books, or mentorship instead of things that bring temporary pleasure. The investment may feel costly now, but the reward will be priceless later. There is also a danger in waiting for the perfect time. Too many people delay their growth because they think they need more money, more time, or more confidence. But growth is not about waiting. It's about starting where you are with what you have. You will never feel fully ready. The confidence you desire comes after you take action, not before. Start small, but start. Every step you take toward improving yourself compounds over time. One book turns into 10. One new skill opens the door to a new career. One small act of faith creates a ripple effect that changes your life. When you invest in yourself, you send a message to life that you are serious about your future. Opportunities come to those who are prepared for them. God can open a door for you, but it is your responsibility to have the strength, wisdom, and capacity to walk through it. A closed door today may simply be a sign that you need more preparation. Instead of being frustrated by the delay, use the time to get ready. Build yourself to the point where, when the opportunity finally arrives, you will not just step into it, you will thrive in it. This is the year where you stop waiting for someone else to change your life. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is coming to hand you the future you desire. Your growth is your responsibility. Your success will be a reflection of how much you've invested in yourself when no one else was watching. When you make a commitment to become better every day, mentally, spiritually, and practically, you will look back at the end of 2025 and see that the seeds you planted in yourself have produced a harvest that no one can take away from you. There comes a point in life when you must recognize that not everyone deserves access to you. One of the greatest acts of self-love is learning to set boundaries and protect your energy. Without boundaries, you will find yourself drained, overwhelmed, and unable to pursue the life you are meant to live. You cannot pour into others if you are constantly empty. Every dream, every assignment, every goal requires focus and emotional strength. But when your energy is scattered among too many people and too many distractions, you rob yourself of the power to move forward. You must understand that your time and energy are valuable resources. Once they are spent, they cannot be regained. Far too often, we give our energy to people who drain us, to conversations that lead nowhere, and to relationships that pull us away from our purpose. Not everyone who has access to you is meant to have access to you. Some people are simply distractions sent to keep you from walking in your calling. They may not be bad people, but they are not right for your journey. Protecting your energy does not mean you hate them. It means you love yourself enough to prioritize what truly matters. There are people who only show up when they need something, but are never there when you need them. There are people who constantly criticize you, doubt you, and speak negatively into your life. There are people who keep you stuck in cycles of gossip, drama, and unproductive behavior. In 2025, you must decide that your peace is more important than pleasing these people. You must be willing to say no without feeling guilty. A lack of boundaries is an invitation for chaos. Every time you say yes to something that does not serve your growth, you are saying no to your purpose. Setting boundaries also applies to the way you use your time. How many hours have you wasted scrolling through meaningless content, arguing with strangers online, or entertaining people who do not add value to your life? Every hour wasted is an hour you could have used to build your future. Your time is your most precious asset, and you must guard it like treasure. Success requires intentional focus, and focus cannot thrive in a life full of distractions. Protecting your energy also means learning to detach from the need for approval. Many people stay trapped in cycles of exhaustion because they are trying to please everyone. But you cannot fulfill your purpose while living for the opinions of others. No matter what you do, there will always be people who misunderstand you, judge you, or criticize you. Let them talk. Your destiny is too important to be derailed by their opinions. You do not need everyone to agree with your decisions. You need to trust that God has placed the vision in your heart for a reason. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. Even Jesus withdrew from the crowds to pray and recharge. If the Son of God needed time alone, so do you. It is not unkind to protect your peace. Huge. It is not rude to decline invitations that don't align with your purpose. It is not wrong to step away from relationships that no longer serve your growth. In fact, saying yes to everything and everyone will eventually lead to burnout, resentment, and regret. Sometimes the hardest part of setting boundaries is realizing that certain people cannot go with you to your next level. As you grow, your circle may get smaller. Huge, not because you are better than anyone else, but because you are becoming more intentional about who you allow to speak into your life. The wrong voices can plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity that choke your vision before it even has a chance to grow. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to rise, who speak life into your dreams, and who celebrate your progress without envy. This year, you must protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. When your energy is drained, you cannot think clearly. Huge, you cannot make wise decisions. You cannot show up fully for your goals, your family, or yourself. But when you are intentional about who and what gets your time, you position yourself for clarity, focus, and growth. There is power in saying no. No to unhealthy relationships. No to distractions disguised as opportunities. No to every demand that takes you away from your purpose. Every no creates space for a bigger yes. A yes to your calling. A yes to your goals. A yes to your peace. At the end of the day, you are responsible for guarding your heart, your mind, and your energy. You cannot expect to live a purposeful life while constantly allowing others to drain you. Protecting your energy is not about shutting people out. It is about giving your best to what truly matters. And when you make that choice, you will find yourself with more strength, more focus, and more peace to pursue the life God has called you to live. There is a point in every journey where talent is no longer enough, where motivation fades, and where only discipline will carry you through. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Too many people are waiting to feel ready, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for motivation to strike like lightning before they take action. But success does not belong to the motivated. It belongs to the disciplined. Feelings are temporary. Discipline is a decision. Discipline means waking up even when you are tired. It means working on your goals even when no one is cheering for you. It means saying no to distractions even when they seem more appealing than the work ahead. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going when life gets difficult. Every dream requires a price, and that price is consistency. If you only show up when you feel like it, you will never achieve the life you desire. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, creators. What separates them from the rest is not just talent, it is the ability to do the hard things repeatedly, even when no one is watching. They train when others are sleeping. They study when others are relaxing. They sacrifice temporary comfort for long-term success. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It is often lonely, but it is the foundation of every success story. You must decide in 2025 that your habits will align with your goals. You cannot pray for better health while eating recklessly and neglecting your body. You cannot wish for financial freedom while spending carelessly and refusing to budget. You cannot hope for career growth while refusing to learn, to work, to show up consistently. Discipline is the proof of your desire. If you truly want it, your actions will reflect it. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is the favorite excuse of the undisciplined. The truth is, tomorrow is not guaranteed. And if you cannot start today with what you have, you will not magically find the willpower later. Success is built in small, daily actions. It is formed in the habits you repeat until they become a part of you. What you consistently do shapes what you consistently become. Discipline also requires sacrifice. You cannot have it all. To gain something greater, you must be willing to let go of something lesser. You may have to spend less time on entertainment and more time on personal growth. You may have to cut back on pleasures that bring short-term comfort so you can invest in things that bring long-term rewards. Sacrifice feels painful in the moment, but it is the seed of every breakthrough. There will be days when the results seem invisible, days when it feels like your effort is wasted. But discipline is about trust in the process, even when you don't see the outcome yet. Seeds don't sprout the day they're planted. In the same way, your consistent actions will pay off, but only if you keep going. Too many people quit right before their breakthrough because they lack the patience to stay consistent. When you build discipline, you build freedom. The undisciplined are slaves to their emotions. They only act when they feel good. But those who master discipline create a life where their actions are no longer dictated by temporary feelings. Huge. They gain control over their time, their habits, and ultimately their future. Discipline turns chaos into order. It turns wishful thinking into tangible results. If you want 2025 to be the year that changes everything, commit to doing what needs to be done even when it's not easy. Set a schedule and honor it. Create systems that hold you accountable. Surround yourself with people who push you to stay consistent. Remove the excuses that have held you back for years. Stop saying, I don't have time, and start admitting, I didn't make time. This is not about perfection. It is about persistence. You will have days where you slip, where you fail, where you lose focus. But discipline is about getting back up every single time. It is about refusing to let one bad day become a bad week or a bad month. Huge. It is about showing up again and again until the habit is stronger than the excuse. Every great reward in life is on the other side of consistency. If you can learn to master yourself, you will discover that success is not as far as it seems. Your future depends on the choices you make daily. Not once in a while, not when you feel like it, but every single day. And when you look back months from now, you will realize that it wasn't motivation that got you there. It was the power of disciplined action. One of the biggest mistakes people make on their journey is failing to acknowledge how far they have already come. Huge. They get so focused on the destination that they forget to celebrate the progress they have made along the way. But gratitude is fuel. Huge. When you recognize and appreciate the growth you have already experienced, it gives you the strength to keep going. It reminds you that even if you are not where you want to be yet, you are no longer where you used to be. Progress may not always be dramatic, but it is still progress. Every small step forward matters. There is power in pausing to look back at the battles you have already survived. Think about the challenges you once thought would break you but didn't. Think about the seasons where you felt stuck, yet somehow you moved forward. Every obstacle you have overcome is proof that you are stronger than you realize. Too often we ignore these victories because they don't seem big enough to celebrate. But it is the small wins, the ones no one else notices, that build momentum for the big ones. Celebrating your progress also keeps you from falling into the trap of comparison. When you fail to acknowledge your own growth, you start focusing on how much farther ahead someone else might be. But when you celebrate your steps, no matter how small, you create gratitude that keeps you grounded. Huge. Gratitude shifts your perspective from, I'm not there yet, to thank God I'm not where I used to be. That shift in mindset is what keeps you motivated during long seasons of waiting. Trusting God's timing is just as important as celebrating your growth. We live in a world obsessed with instant results. We want everything quickly, success, recognition, breakthrough. But God does not work on our timeline. He works according to His plan, and His plan is always better than our own. Delay does not mean denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't happen. The waiting season is not wasted, it's preparation. Sometimes God withholds what you are praying for because He knows you are not ready to handle it yet. There are lessons you must learn, habits you must build, and strength you must develop before you can carry the blessing you've been asking for. If you receive it too soon, it could crush you instead of bless you. Huge. Trusting His timing means believing that when the door finally opens, it will be at the perfect moment, not a second too early or too late. Patience is one of the hardest virtues to practice, but it is essential for growth. If you plant a seed and dig it up every day to see if it is growing, it will never flourish. In the same way, constantly doubting whether your efforts are working will only discourage you. Instead, stay faithful to the process. Keep doing the work. Keep sowing the seeds. In time, the harvest will come. Celebrating your progress also teaches you to find joy in the journey, not just in the destination. If you only allow yourself to be happy when you arrive, you will spend most of your life frustrated. Life is not just about reaching the goal. It is about who you become along the way. Huge. Every setback has shaped you. Every delay has taught you something valuable. Every victory, no matter how small, is proof that you are growing into the person you were meant to be. Make it a habit to reflect on your growth regularly. Write down what you've achieved. Remind yourself of the prayers that have already been answered. When you feel discouraged, look back at the progress you have already made. It will remind you that you are capable of more than you think. This year, learn to celebrate yourself even when no one else does. Don't wait for the world to applaud you before you recognize your own effort. Thank God for the strength to keep going. Give yourself credit for showing up, for pushing through, for refusing to quit. Huge. You may not be at the finish line yet, but every day you take a step forward, you are building a life you will one day be proud of. And as you celebrate your growth, hold on to faith that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. God's plan is perfect. His timing is never wrong. You may not see it now, but when the breakthrough comes, you will look back and understand why it had to happen this way. The waiting, the struggles, the lessons, they were all preparing you for the blessing. So keep going, keep growing, keep trusting. Huge. Your story is still being written, and the best chapters are yet to come. Every small victory today is a seed for the greater victories tomorrow. Celebrate that, honor your journey, a huge, and believe that in due season, everything you have worked for, prayed for, and believed for will come to pass. As we stand on the edge of a new season, understand this: 2025 will not just happen to you. It will happen through you. Your life will not change by chance. It will change by choice. Every decision you make to focus on yourself, to grow, to set boundaries, huge, to stay disciplined, and to trust God's timing is a seed planted for the future you desire. This is the year to stop living for validation, to stop waiting for permission, and to stop comparing your journey to anyone else's. You have everything you need to become who God created you to be, but it requires focus. It requires you to say yes to your growth, yes to your purpose, yes to your peace, and yes to the process, even when it feels slow, even when it feels lonely, even when you don't see results yet. The truth is a huge. When you commit to becoming the best version of yourself, everything around you begins to change. The right opportunities, the right people, huge. And the right doors begin to align with your life, not because you chased them, but because you prepared for them. So in 2025, make a decision to show up for yourself every single day. Celebrate the small wins. Trust the process. Stay disciplined even when no one is watching. Protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. And above all, keep your faith rooted in the one who holds your life in his hands. If you stay faithful, focused, and consistent, this will be the year that shifts everything. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. And when you look back at the end of 2025, you will see that every sacrifice, every boundary, every act of discipline, and every prayer was worth it. Huge. This is your time. This is your year. Focus only on yourself. Walk boldly in your calling and watch God do what only he can do in your life.